In today's video, I'm going to be putting all 71 skins released this season onto a tier list. Side note, I obviously mean last season. I didn't get this done before the end of last season, so naturally we're in the next one. Sorry I underestimated the amount of effort needed for this video. Enjoy! For the record, this is my list, so if you disagree, which I know you will, let me know down in the comments. Without further ado, let's get into the tier list. Starting off with the Battle Pass skins, and on page 1, we have Cerberus. I think by far he's one of the best tier 1 skins we've gotten in quite a long time, other than maybe Hope from last season. I definitely think his flame style is the best one though, but we're off to a great start with an A tier skin. Next up I have Aphrodite. Look, hear me out. A lot of people like her, and I also do, don't get me wrong, but I think she's only an A tier skin, and here's why. She's basic. I do think her second style is pretty good too though, but she still is a great skin, so therefore she's A tier. Moving on we have Poseidon. It was an interesting take to have Fortnite make Poseidon Ripley, but I kinda like it. With all 4 of his styles, blue, purple, and orange, it definitely works, and I think he's a B2 skin. Not to mention his Swim Free song goes hard. After that is Medusa. Look, call me crazy, but of her first style I'm not as big of a fan on as I am her second style, which I think carries the skin in my opinion. Back in Chapter 2, Season 6, we had Lyra, who is a starter pack skin, which is similar to Medusa, but obviously with her being the real one, she's way better. This makes her the first god tier skin of the video. Okay, now hear me out. Zeus, I don't really like him that much. I mean, first of all, what are those shotguns doing on his chest, along with the grenades on his sides? I get what Fortnite was trying to do with making him look like an actual Fortnite skin, and like blending in, but at the same time, Zeus is this big almighty god, and yet this is what we get. I'm sorry, but he's C tier. After that is Artemis, which I think is probably the best skin in the Battle Pass. Her galaxy style is amazing, not to mention her pink and orange styles also carry. One of my friends mains her, and for good reason. Easily S tier and by far the best skin so far. Wrapping up the Battle Pass skins, we have Hades. He's the tier 100 skin for this season, and he actually is pretty sick looking. His purple style is actually really dope, and his glider that you ride on top of is also really cool. However, it's not something that I would necessarily wear all the time, but he's still a decent skin, so I'm going to put him in B tier. Moving on with our Greek gods, we have Ares, who is the crew skin for April. I actually think he's really cool looking, as he's the god of war, and his red style is definitely my favorite. Not to mention you get the bonus of having all the legacy styles. My opinion, he's an A tier skin. After that, we have Apollo, the god of the sun. Kinda like what they did with Zeus and made him look like an actual Fortnite skin rather than a god, but I think this is done better than Zeus. I actually kinda like his hair with the yellow streaking through it, and his outfit is actually pretty cool. So for that, I'm gonna give him a B tier. Next up we have Perseus, who's a leveled quest pack skin for this season. At first I didn't really like this skin that much, but then my friend convinced me that this was actually a really good skin. First you have his chromed up version that you get after completing all of his challenges, which I actually think completes the look. Therefore, he's an A tier. For the last of the Greek gods, we have Titan, who is basically the live event from last season wrapped up in a skin. I mean, his backbling is literally Pandora's box. Just on the design alone, I think he's an A tier skin. It's not necessarily something that I would wear all the time because he'd probably stand out like a sore thumb, but I still think she's a really good skin. After that, we have Odyssey, who is the rank skin for this season. Sadly though, you did have to buy her in the item shop for 1200 V-Bucks, but I still think she's worth it as she's a decent skin. She shows off your rank, and I like the fact that they changed it so you can see all the different ranks that you get. For me, she's a B tier skin. After Odyssey, we have Anwar and Nora. These two are the Lantern Fest skins for this season, and to be honest, I'm not really a fan of them. I do think Nora is better, but they're not necessarily something that I would wear all that much, so therefore they're both C tier. After that, we have the Disco Manic. To be honest, I do think the original Manic is better as I like the red-black color scheme, but this one is still a decent skin as well. I think this should have been a different style, rather than just an entirely different skin, and especially costing 1200 V-Bucks. However, she does come with her disco ball backbling, so I guess there's that, but she's a B tier skin. Now we have Dynamic Hush. A lot of people really like her, and for good reason. I do really like her gold style, but her default style is good as well. Is she as good as the original Hush or the Double Agent Hush? No, but she's ever so close to that, so therefore she's an A tier skin. Now we're up to the 3 Nike skins that released this season. Airphoria and Eclipse were the first ones to release this season, but I really don't think they're that good. Airphorian especially, as he's kind of like this blob, which don't get me wrong, so is Poseidon, but I think he's done it a better way. And sadly, Airphorian is our first D tier skin. However, Eclipse is a lot better. I do like both of her styles, but especially her default style, which reminds me a lot of Aerie, which we got back last year. However, that's not quite enough to make me use her all that much, so I'm going to put her at B tier. Now the last Nike skin we got, which we actually got later on in the season, is Nike Goddess. And to be honest, you just show a picture of this skin, you couldn't tell that this was a collab skin, but she is, and she's absolutely amazing. See, if you're going to do a collab skin that matches the season, this is how you do it. I love her orange hair, and her armor is absolutely amazing. And to be honest, I definitely think she's the best skin to release this season. Now we're up to Ascendant Midas. Finally, we got Midas back with his Floor's Lava game mode, which is absolutely fun. And I actually think this is a lot better than the original Midas. I mean, not to mention his second style makes you go completely green like the River of Hades. Also, his first style is just as reactive as the original. Look, I might not be one to use Midas all the time, but I definitely think he's worthy of an A tier skin. Now we're up to the stretch of Marvel skins that released this season. And surprisingly, this is the most amount of Marvel skins we've gotten in the season since Chapter 3 Season 1. First up, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy pack with Groot, Mantis, and Drax. I think it's silly how we got the bulky version of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but because it's not something that I would necessarily want to use all the time, he's going to be in a B tier. Mantis, on the other hand, is quite a bit better, as I do like her skin-tight dress that she has on, and her little antenna on the front, of course. Would I wear her all the time though? Probably not, so she's also going to be B tier, but just ahead of Groot. And then we have Drax, who I think is the best skin in this pack. Just like with Groot, he is still pretty bulky, but I still like his design a lot better. Therefore, he's going to go in A tier. After that, we have the Thor Ragnarok skins with the Warrior Hulk and Hela. With the Hulk, he has the same problem as both Groot and Drax, but he is actually quite a bit more bulky. He's still going to be in B tier though, because, I mean, after all, it is the Hulk. Hela is quite a bit better though, and she's going to go in A tier, right next to her pet wolf. They pretty much nailed her design directly from the movie, and I couldn't really ask for anything more. And the last two Marvel skins we got are Sylvie and Loki from the Loki show. Sylvie I think is really good, but the only thing that I think they messed up on is the face model. It doesn't really look right for me, so therefore she's only getting an A tier. However, Loki, on the other hand, is getting an S tier. I think they really nailed his design from that last episode of Loki Season 2. His horns, yes, may be a bit bulky, but I mean, it's Loki after all, and it just works for me. Next up we have Hale, which, to be honest, I don't really know what this skin is. I'm sorry, but I don't really like him at all. He's getting a D tier. After that, we have Sharon. I mean, he's just a reskin of Oro, and to be honest, I actually like the original Oro better, and the colors on Sharon don't really work with me. So for that reason, he's going to go in C tier. Aubrey, however, despite being a part of the same set as Sharon for some reason, I think she's a solid skin. At first, I didn't really like her that much because it just seemed kind of out of place to me. I mean, she's got a hot dog on her shirt. I mean, she may be something that I wear every once in a while, but other than that, I think she gets a B tier. We're on to the Avatar skins, which, in my opinion, I don't really care for that much. Look, I may not have watched the show growing up, and to be honest, I don't really think I'm missing that much. Starting off with Aang skins, which I think should be different styles, not two entirely different skins. And I mean, come on, this is just Caillou in skin form. Therefore, they're both C tier. I'm sorry. After that is Zuko, who's from the Fire Tribe, and to be honest, I don't necessarily like him that much either, but he is better than Aang, so I do think I will put him in B tier. After that is Katara from the Water Tribe, and to be honest, she's better than Zuko, so she's just going to go right above him. Out of the Avatar skins that were in the item shop, I do think Toph is my favorite though. Now does that mean she's going to be in A tier? No, she's going to be right above Katara. And finally we have Korra, who is the secret Battle Pass skin this season. I do like her second style, but it's not enough to put me over the edge to put her in A tier, so she's going to go right above Toph in B tier. Next up we have Toshiro, or the Ruben Diaz icon skin. Look, he's a skin that I would probably never wear, and I don't really like his big bulky shoulder pad on his left side. So for that reason, he's D tier. Another skin that I don't really like either is Matius. He's a skin that goes with the Fuse quest pack in the shop, and to be honest, he's not really worth it. If you're doing it for the car, then by all means, I think it's worth it. But at the end of the day, you're just doing it for the skin, to collect it, I would not recommend doing it. I think Jackie from last season was quite a bit better, and in my opinion, Matius is D tier. After that, we have the two Coachella skins that released this season. Look, I don't necessarily mind wearing these skins, but at the end of the day, they're kind of too bright in my opinion. I do think they're the best astronaut skins that we have in the game, but they're not the best Coachella skins that we've got in the game. Therefore, they're both going to get a B tier. After that is the orange J Balvin skin. Look, this may be already the third J Balvin reskin that we've gotten, but I actually think this might be the best one, in contention with the original. I just like his orange color scheme going around, and his white pants actually work really well for me. Even though he's probably a skin that I wouldn't wear that often, I do think he's definitely worth the A tier. Next up is Harpy Haze. She's the quest pack for this season, and I definitely think she's worth the price. Out of all the Haze skins that we've gotten in the game, I think she's definitely by far the best. I was never really a fan of Haze before her, but when she came out, I was like, oh, she's actually really good. Therefore, she's going to be another skin to be put into S tier. After that is Curious. To be honest, I think she's just a random item shop skin that got thrown in this season, and I don't really know why she was brought in. I mean, she's got her cool design with the yin-yang color scheme, but otherwise, I don't really think I'd wear her that often, but I can still appreciate her design. Therefore, she's gonna get a B tier. Alright, time to flame me again. We're on to Billie Eilish. Look, when I saw that she was going to be in the Festival Pass for this current season, I wasn't really that thrilled. And to be honest, her first skin, the green style that we got, I'm not really a fan of that much. Look, I know, she's cool. Other than Bad Guy, I don't really know a lot of her music, but that's not to take away from the skin at all. But if it helps, I do think she's the top of C tier. However, I do think her red style is definitely better. It was released in the item shop a few weeks after the festival season first started, and because of the red and black color scheme, it's enough to give her a B tier. Now we're on to Philosopher Banana Cuties. Look, can we please be done with the Billie reskins, please? Look, I get it, he's a fan favorite character, but at the same time, he's gotten so many skins now, it's ridiculous. I see what they tried to do to make him Greek themed, but at the same time, because of Billie, and I'm sorry, I think he's the worst skin of the season. D tier. After that, we have the anime NBA skins. These were released for the NBA playoffs this year, and to be honest, I think we should have just gotten the original skins back. I do like how you can customize them to your liking, but at the same time, I've never really been a fan of cel-shaded skins. If they're like actual Fortnite skins and not have this cel-shaded effect on them, I would like them a lot better. But to be honest, for me, they're just kinda there, and for that reason, they're all getting C tier. Now we're up to Champion Siren, who is the FNCS skin for this season. I may not necessarily like the fact that all the FNCS skins are all reskins of skins already in the game, but I do think this one is one of the top ones in the game. Now, is she the best Siren skin? Probably not, because I do think her red, black, and gold one is better. However, I think all the sweats would be happy when I say that she's worthy of the top of B tier. After Siren, we have Spirit Hunter Saeko, who's the crew skin for the month of May. Look, as basic she may be, I actually think she's worthy of an S tier skin. I like her hat and her overall design is just amazing. And to be honest, she's in my top 10 crew skins of all time, maybe even top 5. Now we're up to all 4 Star Wars skins that got released this season. Of course, every year we have a May the 4th event for Fortnite, but I do think this year's didn't stack up to last year's. First up is Dagobah Luke, who in my opinion, out of these 4, is the worst one. I mean, as much as I love Luke Skywalker, I definitely think he's a C tier skin. Look, this should have just been a separate style from his original skin. I mean, that one had his fanboy look from episode 4, and his Return to the Jedi look in the all black, which is a lot better than whatever this is. Look, I get it, it's from episode 5, but at the same time, he's just boring looking. Next up is Lando Calrissian. Look, originally I had him as just like an average skin, but at the same time I realized this is the drippiest motherfucker in the galaxy. And to be honest, I think he's worthy of the A tier. After that is the AWR Trooper, or the Death Trooper. To be honest, this is the second best Trooper skin, losing only to the Sith Trooper. That being said, he's definitely worthy of an A tier. Finally, to wrap up the Star Wars skins, we have Chewbacca. Look, I may not like the fact that he's hidden away in the LEGO Pass, but at the same time, he's probably the best Star Wars skin released this season. They definitely nailed his design, therefore, I think he's worthy of an S tier. After the Star Wars skins, we have Elowen. Just like I said with Curious, I think she's also a random skin that they just dropped this season. And again, like I've said with a lot of these, she's not necessarily something I would wear all the time, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either. Therefore, she's a B tier. Next up, we have the 2 B-themed skins that were released this season. Penny Dancer was the first one to release. Even though she's a reskin of Snow Dancer, I definitely think she's better. While I may not necessarily be a fan of her look, I can definitely get behind the B theme, and therefore she's a top of B tier for me. But Vandra, on the other hand, I think is way better. I like her 2 buns that she has on her hair, and the tiny little camera that she's got on the front. While she doesn't necessarily have a lot of Bs on her, I think she's definitely worthy of being a quote-unquote B skin. Also, my friend B mains her, so therefore she's the top of A tier. And now on to the final time, hopefully, that I'll get flamed for this video. We're on to the My Hero Academia Villain Skins. Look, I didn't watch the show, so any significance you have to these skins, cool, but in my opinion, I don't like them that much. Starting off with the worst one, who I think is Shigaraki. I don't like the fact that his mouth is sewn shut, and it reminds me of Deadpool from X2, and I think he's the worst one in this set by far, therefore he's a D tier. Dobby is a little bit better in my opinion, but I don't think he's worthy of being in B tier. His style doesn't necessarily mean anything to me, but I do think he's better than some skins in this list. However, I only think he's worth of being in C tier. And the last MHA skin we have is Toga. Look, a lot of people really love Toga, and I'm happy for you guys, but she's not necessarily something that I would want to wear all the time. Her emote is kind of cool, which I did rate already, but at the same time, it doesn't fit my taste. Therefore, she's only worth a B tier. And finally, the last skin is Reckless Raith. He was the last skin added to this season, and to be honest, I thought he was going to be a starter pack skin for next season, but no, he released at the end of this season. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of his overall design. However, I do like the red in him, so he's not necessarily going to go in D tier, but he will be at the bottom of C tier for me. To end it off, we have these 2 skins down here, which I'm not going to put on my list, as they haven't been released yet. Carrie's most likely going to be the Save the World pack skin for next season, as well as Tatsuo, who's going to be the starter pack skin for next season. Therefore, they're not going to be included on this list. And there you have it, my entire tier list for all the skins this season. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below on what your tier list would be like. Also, if you could, consider using code DAVIDGRAVY5 in the item shop for the new season. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.